Well, here's another game that Max sucks at.
Yep. Welcome to Tablenauts. My name's Max.
I'm Doolin.
I'm Danielle.
And this is
Kyle.
From our Discord, which you should check out if you haven't already. Kyle's a good friend. He lives close, and we decided today we're going to play all Eric Lang games.
Close enough that he
Close
was
enough that he was going to drive it. Not that close. Still
3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
Okay.
But we decided we're going to have an Eric Lang day. We're going to play Blood Rage. We're going to play Rising Sun. We're going to play Ankh. And then we're going to kind of have a brief discussion after each of them. And then cumulatively, whatever, at the end, come together and talk about them and rank them. And also answer the world's most difficult question. Does Blood Rage enter Doolin's top 50? Because if it does, I win a bet. And if it doesn't, then he wins a bet. So we're going to see. But we're going to say that until the wrap up.
Sure.
So for now, we're just going to talk about
Blood
so
we're
Rage.
not even going to discuss.
Do you want to tell if it's your top?
I don't
Do you
care.
need more time to think about it? Or do you know the answer to that?
I don't need more time.
Okay, then we'll answer this right now.
Right now?
In a few minutes.
Yeah.
In a few minutes. Whether Blood Rage
on the edge.
right now.
Are they doing it?
They fast forward.
No, they're stopping it. Wait,
Yeah,
again?
They're checking the little bar at the bottom. Like, where is it they say that Doolin says his answer?
So Blood Rage came out in 2015. Again, this is a CMON game designed by Eric Lang. This is the first of 3 in the trilogy of troops on a map, essentially. This is a Viking-themed game where you're drafting cards and upgrading your clan, your leaders, your warriors, your monsters, your ships, and basically duking it out on a map to see who can win. Kyle won.
I did.
By a lot. Kyle, how many points did you have? Like 230?
Who's counting?
And I had
15.
he had lapped me, or I had 160. I saved the lap at the end.
160.
What did I have?
160.
Oh, then I did get lapped.
You had 140 something, didn't you?
I
don't know.
140 something.
I
Yeah,
think I
20.
still
Okay.
was lapped, but only barely. At the end, we came close, but he lapped me. I did very poorly. Danielle came in second, Doolin third, and myself in last place. So, this is my...
Well, here's another game that Max sucks at.
This is my second time
didn't
ever.
feel like you sucked though. Like you
Yeah.
did a lot on the board.
I know. I agree. I messed up in certain areas. but-
Maybe that's a strike against it.
Nah.
Maybe because you can do a whole lot but not score.
No, I know where I messed up. But
Okay.
regardless, I've played this game twice.
Okay.
Danielle, this is your first experience with it. Doolin, this is your
Second experience.
first real experience with it, but
Second
second experience in total.
Yeah.
And Sean, or not Sean, Kyle, you've played this game.
Oh, 5 times. Probably.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's funny. Everybody in board games is like, oh, I love this game. I bought an organizer and I painted the miniatures. Wow, you must have played that a lot. Yeah, about 3 times.
It's like, I got my money's worth.
Just so everybody knows, that was a comic by Semi Co-op that they just put out. I'll put a link in the description. I didn't make that joke up.
That
What
was
do we
funny.
think about Blood Rage? We'll save the last for you.
Okay.
You can go last.
Cool.
Kyle, what do you think about Blood Rage?
All right. Well, I love Blood Rage. It's probably in my top 10 games. Just a little spoiler for the rankings later. But
Okay.
what I do love about it is, first off, I love card drafting. And
Yeah.
it has it.
Mhm.
And I love the card drafting in this because every card is good. So no matter what you're taking something that's fun.
Yeah.
And whether you're hate drafting it or keeping it for yourself.
And it's
fun.
agonizing passing cards to
is.
someone else.
It
You're
is.
like, I have to take this, but this is great, and I don't want him to have it.
Yeah. And the cards are so easy. Like, it's a quest card, or
Yeah.
it's an upgrade card, or it's a battle card.
I loved Blood Rage. I liked it the first time, but I also hated it. It was one of those experiences that, like, I enjoyed the game, and I
Yeah.
hated the experience. And so I was really hoping that when I played it again, it was a love for me. And even getting lapped, and even having 24 points until age 3, I really, really enjoyed that. I think, like you said, the card drafting is just one of the best implementations of card drafting that I'm aware of. It's every card you draft, you know that you're going to use it, and you know that it's going to be able to do cool things. It's not just there's no simple like +1. If it's a +1 to the battle, it has an effect that's awesome too.
To speak to that, a game that does something like this that I don't like is actually like 7 Wonders, where like there's the ages and stuff, and never in that game are you in a scenario, or never in this game are you in a scenario like 7 Wonders where, oh, I could take this card and it's really powerful, but I need this little symbol that it says on the card. Like there's no like prerequisite for the card, which is nice.
Yeah, you could diversify your hand ridiculously so, or you can nail down kind of one strategy as well. Danielle?
I liked it.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did well.
I did well.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I like it.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
The theme. Was
Okay.
fun.
The theme was cool.
I don't know. I just liked it.
That's fine.
That's
You don't
fine.
have to have particular reasons.
don't have
I think that's
reasons.
one thing as someone who is a board game reviewer, I guess at this point, like there's times where I hate reviewing games. I like it. I don't know how to explain to you that I like it. I think I try my hardest to try and convey those feelings, but like sometimes you just like something and there's no real reason why I had a good
I have
time.
plenty of games in my collection that are like that, where people
Yeah.
are like, "Why in the world do you like that?"
Yeah.
I don't
So-
know. it's a good game.
Let's answer the question. You
All right.
talk about your
So-
likes, then we'll answer the question.
So, okay. Things I liked. One, the very first thing that stands out is the miniatures. The miniatures are fantastic, which is to be expected from a CMON game. And then I did enjoy I love dudes on a map style games. It gave me, and I'm admitting that you are right in this, it did give me small world vibes at times, but there are plenty of differences in between these two games as well. I was trying to think as you explained the game, Kyle, like what is this
Which thank
game?
you for, by the way.
Yeah. Would not have been able to learn that without somebody who had already previously played it. It throws in a lot of interesting mechanics. Like I've never played a dudes on a map game that also had card drafting, which was interesting. Like the fact that they go hand in hand and are really important is cool to me.
And there's others that fit that bill too, like Inish. But I know they're very different games, but there are some out there. We've never had a chance to play Inish.
And then the combat reminded me very immediately of Cosmic Encounter, which is another game that we really like.
Yeah. And I like that the losers keep their card. It's interesting because there's not as much like risk in a battle, which you could see as a negative. But for me, I enjoy the fact that you can toss out a card in the hopes that you might win without feeling like you shouldn't even use it.
I'm interested to see how the 2-player version feels.
I would assume not great.
I would maybe like it, but I think it's just because of the way we came off of this game. And I'm gonna chalk this up as we're even now, because you know how I made you like Nemesis a lot less?
Yeah.
We're gonna say we're even now because Max hardcore targeted me in this game.
It wasn't on I didn't go into this. Actually, in fact, I mentioned to Kyle that like I wanted to sandbag to let Doolin win so he'd like it more.
Either way, there were a lot of times where like my dudes got wiped from the map and it felt like, okay, well, I'm out of this game at this point. But
you weren't.
I wasn't. It
You
just
beat
definitely felt. I mean, I still lost. But
I will say that the trolls happened to me the first time I played Blood Rage. I was the one that got hit by the trolls. And that particular card does feel bad.
I don't know, because there's so many ways to, like, losing is so good.
That's true.
Like, there's so ways to... That's what I really like about the area control part of this game, is, like, you're setting yourself up to win, and you're setting yourself up to lose, and you're setting yourself up for Ragnarok, and you're setting yourself... And in that way, it's just, like, it's very hard to feel like when you get beaten down, like, you're ever down.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even I felt that way, and then the third round came around, and I was like, I have cards that I think I'm gonna be all right with. So yeah, there was never a point where I was completely out of the game, even though Kyle was really good and like made it feel that way.
Absolutely destroyed us.
Okay, so the question is it better than Architects of the West Kingdom? I would say that they're pretty close. I will give the edge to Blood Rage. It definitely.
So it enters your top 50?
Even though I desperately want Max to lose this bet after that last game.
It enters your top 50?
It does enter my top 50.
Yes!
It definitely enters my top 50. I don't know if it would enter...
Like top 30 or anything?
It would be close to top 30.
Okay.
Close to top 30. I'd have to look again. But again, I am very glad that I got to play it again because my first experience was not good at all.
You were confident.
Oh my gosh. It was
50.
so garbage playing with the app. And none of us knowing what was going on. I'm confident we got like half of those rules wrong. And like, yeah, this experience.
When you played with the app, to clarify.
Yes. And like, to clarify that, many times I moved around the map, but didn't just move across the map whenever we wanted. It was, we could only move somewhere
you all
adjacent.
got the marching way wrong.
Yeah, so marching, you would use up most of your rage just marching around.
Yeah, that seems terrible.
And so that was not good. And yeah, I'm glad that I got the rules clarified for me and I played it correctly, and it's actually a really good game. So yeah.
That's Blood Rage.
If you haven't checked out Blood Rage,
People
it's a
are
good
better
game.
than apps.
People are better than apps.
Kyle is better than apps.
I've always said
I wouldn't say that all I wouldn't say that all people are better than apps, but Kyle is better than apps.
Is better than apps.
Yes.
We just finished playing Rising Sun for our game 2 on Not David Lang.
Eric Lang Day.
Played this one at 3 players. That's why Danielle's not here. Remy is freaking out because we got pizza. Just finished. Doolin won pretty handily.
Yep.
I think it was like 63 to 48 to 30. Kyle,
I think
correct?
we knew about halfway through.
Yeah, Doolin kind of ran away with it pretty hard with a few things, especially that final round. But Doolin, then me, then Kyle. So reverse order standings of Blood Rage. And yeah, what do you think about it, Kyle? I'll let you talk first since he has pizza.
Good idea.
No, I do like Rising Sun. It's very pretty. I think it might be the prettiest of the Eric Lang games. But I really like to follow the leader mechanics that you can kind of see in Puerto Rico or TI4. That's just really cool because everybody's doing it, and then you just get a little benefit. So I think it's probably my favorite part is the action selection.
Yeah, I agree. Now I already forgot the name. Not the dragonfly.
Lotus.
Lotus.
You were the Lotus.
Which meant my action selection was not limited in any way, shape, or form. I could basically select anything I wanted, which I liked, but it also made the decision space a lot more open for me. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I enjoyed being able to like take one and trash it. Like, oh hey, I don't really want recruit, but I don't want Doolin to have recruit. So I can take it, flip it upside down, and then pick whatever I want for it instead. I really liked that aspect.
But you know what else I liked about that? I never knew what you flipped over, so I never knew that you hate drafted me. And so we were just having this good old time where I never understood what ones you were flipping over, but really you were hate drafting the whole time.
Only a couple times. Most of the time I didn't really know what I was doing.
I liked this. I think
we're not comparing to Blood Rage.
Yeah, not yet. But the combat was interesting. I thought that the simple system of basically everything is just worth 1 unless you have an upgrade card is cool. I thought that the miniatures in this one were fantastic. Like
they're better than the miniatures of Blood Rage.
Don't compare yet.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, okay.
What are you doing?
You're right.
What are you doing?
My bad.
The huge monsters are fantastic. I didn't even know that necessarily that there were huge monsters until I saw a card. I was like, get giant monster thing. And I was like, what's the giant monster thing? And then you showed them off and I was like, whoa, those get put on the board? And then it's actually interesting because some of them are only worth the same amount as like a tiny little monster. But it's cool to
they have
them.
different abilities and stuff.
The abilities is where they come in. I mean, that's like really how you like hook me down early. Is with one of yours.
Your hate Onis was pretty. Your Onis in general got you lots of points, but the hate Oni, whatever it was called, was incredible. Absolutely hilarious too.
I'm with you though, and I wonder how it would be if I tried to like come up with all of the games and which I thought was most pretty, like was the artwork like rank. But this one is definitely high.
Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the better produced than Blood Rage, but it's 3 years newer. I should stop comparing.
That's fair.
But Blood Rage came out in 2015. This came out in 2018. I expect Ankh to probably be prettier than this, or maybe not prettier artistically. I expect the miniatures to be better and the detail to be better, but we'll see when we get that. Technology. I mean, it's 2021 now when Ankh comes out, so I assume that that's gotten better in the past 3 years as well. But anyways, I really liked the bidding and negotiation. I don't think we took advantage of the negotiation as much as we could have.
Yeah, which you only know from knowing the game. Like, you don't know if you played the game like 5 times, you can see, oh, I really need this area. You don't know that going in necessarily.
And there's just less to look. There's less that we know what to look out for. I mean, game 2, again, same thing with Blood Rage. I said as soon as we finished playing Blood Rage, like I want to run it back. Like I want to play that again. And I feel the same way with Rising Sun. Like I want to play it again because now I know more of what it's about. Like these are first impressions and first plays for both 100%. Doolin and I for the most part. Yeah. I would love to play these again quickly, like soon after, to see what I've learned because I feel like there's a lot you can take off of one game and put into action for your second game. Just things that you aren't aware about. Just
trying to think of games that, because I love to do this, compare them to, and if you are a fan of, like maybe you can know that this game is for you. I got the same like feeling playing this game as I did playing Tammany Hall, which is a really weird comparison.
No, I think that's a fine comparison.
But like
the area control works very similarly.
Yes, and even the bidding, like like trying to decide, oh man, I'm hiding however many I'm pulling in. I feel like it's very.
It's definitely not the same. No. There's a lot that makes it different too, but I think that's a very solid comparison as far as how it plays. The area control over these different sectors on the map. They score. They score in certain orders. The only thing in Tammany Hall is every single place scores every time. This one allows you to kind of think about that strategically and where I need to move to and where I need to go, and also the way that you need different locations to score the most amount of points. Yes. Whereas in Tammany Hall, as long as you have the most locations, it's fine. Even if you just hole up and get the same 5 every round, it doesn't matter. There's a slight differences there, but yeah, I think that's a great comparison.
That's another interesting thing about Rising Sun is that not every territory is going to score every round.
Yeah,
Because
which
there's not going to be a battle.
and that's one of the
every
things that I didn't pay as much attention to as I wish I would have. And also, and I mean, both Doolin and I ended up getting 5 different territories, so we scored pretty well for that. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't until the end of round 2 I was like, oh, I didn't score Kyoto this time. Like, oh, wow, how did I not miss that? Like, just simple things like that. Or I scored this twice without needing to.
Yeah.
So it was things like that that I missed without understanding the real nuances of the game. But I really like Rising Sun. I really like Blood Rage, too. You've already heard my thoughts on that. We're going to get into Ankh, and then we're going to come back and make a little highlight wrap-up about Ankh, and then jump straight into a direct comparison between the 3. And we're back with our third and final little first impressions today. This is Ankh, Gods of Egypt by Eric Lang, and Simon just came out in 2021, very new. Kyle, thank you for teaching us and bringing on the game. We really appreciate
Thanks
that.
for coming this whole time.
Yeah. It was a good time. We had a great day. We're going to wrap up our thoughts on all 3 of them and rank them here momentarily, but just briefly, what were your thoughts on Ankh?
Ankh, I thought was fantastic. I thought the miniatures were
Are stunning.
That's always like the first thing I bring up in all 3 of the games, but you have to when the company's called Cool Mini or not.
It's true.
But the theme is really neat. The board probably was. I don't want to say like comparatively, I was expecting more. I'll say that.
The board's not
Yeah,
great. It's not bad. It's just not great.
Yeah. But
It's very functional.
the game like took a while to figure out what we were doing. Like,
Yeah.
why am I here? What am I moving these guys around for? Because you're not running up and like slashing anybody or anything like that. But it is still interesting, like the way that you vie for points.
We
and
couldn't
how
go.
to score.
Couldn't
Yeah,
go.
Draco had to
video.
come at some point.
There's
Yeah.
not even
What
a
up,
game
Draco?
on the table.
I think Ankh is pretty. I agree with you. I think the decision space, although the rules overhead was smaller,
Mm-hmm.
the decision space felt to me much larger to a point where at the end of the game I was still like, I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm doing or why and not necessarily in a bad way. Like I got it 80%.
Mm.
It wasn't like it was so over the top of my head that I couldn't capture anything.
Yeah.
I understand how to play the majority of it, but some of the strategy was still just out of reach for me being able to grasp it and fully comprehend it.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
yeah, it's definitely the most beautiful miniatures. I want to say, let's say production as a whole. I feel like that has to go to Rising Sun as a whole.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to
You're not
that.
talking about
Yeah. Danielle, what do you think about Ankh? You did not play Rising Sun,
I did not.
but you did play Ankh and Blood Rage.
Yes.
Don't compare them though. We're gonna do that in a minute.
Okay.
What do you think about Ankh?
I like you more than you don't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like the miniatures too. I like that each character had their own color.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
everything that was
Oh, yeah.
nice.
That was the case with Blood or with
Rising
Sun
Yeah.
too. The plastic has its own color as well,
Yeah.
which is nice. But what do you think, Kyle?
So one thing I really like about Ankh
They
is
probably
that-
can't even see you right now because
Because
Draco.
Draco.
he's the star.
He's the star. Oh.
It's bedtime.
One thing I really like about Ankh is that the actions are so easy.
The actions are super simple.
Move everything 3 spaces.
Yep.
Summon, you get 1 figure. All that's game follower. Like it's
Yeah.
all so easy, and like the depth that comes from the strategy. You're like, what do I need to do?
Yeah, the
and like that's
actions
really
you take are silly simple, but what you do with them is where the confusion.
cool. And not
comes.
just like the area control on the board, but like saying like I really need to gain followers, but I mean I don't want to trigger an event,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
I need to do that second because I want to do this thing first. That part is really cool.
What did we all think of the merge? Because I know that's going to be the vast majority of people's sticking point, or the thing that they don't want or don't like. I feel like, so Doolin and I merged. We'll go ahead and mention
Oh, yeah.
that right out the gate.
And I was in last.
Doolin was in last. I was tied for second to last, but Danielle had one. She was on top of me. And then Kyle was ahead by a decent bit. Kyle did end up winning. Doolin and I came a point or 2 away
Yeah,
from winning,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Danielle was about 5 points behind. So very close game where all of us felt like we were in contention until we got down to that final few battles. We're like mathing it out, and no, we can't end up taking this. But
I don't know. I want to know what you thought first. What did you think of the merging?
so I was the person in third that dropped down to fourth.
Mm-hmm.
In our game, the difference between third and fourth wasn't astronomical.
Mhm.
I can see it being far more of a downer if you were 15 spots below me.
Yeah.
And I had to move all the way down to you.
only
fair.
moving down 7 spots or whatever it was. She's a chatter. Wasn't, to me, that much of an issue. And I didn't mind it. I could tell that when we merged, you did not like it. Initially.
Yeah.
Maybe you came around. But to me, I don't mind that, but I was also the god in 3rd place. So everything you had worked for was wiped.
Yeah, it definitely, it's better than being just completely eliminated from the
Right.
game. However, I had to completely switch gears. I had to learn all the things that you'd done. I had to learn what you were trying to do at that point, which I had my own plans, but all of that was just gone. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And it felt a little bit like, you playing a game of Catan and one person is just like, oh, gotta leave, and then all of their pieces get removed off the board, and all of a sudden there's all of this free real estate, and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of free real estate. It's just weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, and I think that I could see how some people might like it, and I think that some people might get really turned off.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be polarizing regardless. For me personally, I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it comes from, well, it's catch-22. I think a lot of the reason that I like it comes from the fact that when I play games, I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
But my number one goal while playing games is making sure other people are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So at one standpoint, I like the merge
Mm-hmm.
because it sort of improves your chances.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not entirely. I don't know the math, and I know it's definitely neuters 3rd place a little bit. But even if the person in 3rd place that went down, to me, I took it as an opportunity to work together with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can do that. Like it's gonna be fun. Like we're working together. We're making
Mm-hmm.
decisions together. I definitely think removing pieces off the board is like you said, weird. You just wipe it, and so much free real estate, and things change.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird. I didn't mind it.
If I could change one thing about the merge, the lower gods should get one thing, whether you keep their points or you keep their monuments or you keep their figures on the map. Just you pick one of 5 different options.
I think it
Just
felt
something.
worse. The way that it's done felt worse because, and I don't know how the rule book states it, but if there was literally a way, and I know this is so superficial, if there was literally a way to put our player boards together. I know they have that little piece that comes off, but I don't mean that. I mean literally a way to puzzle them together.
Yeah.
And allow some people to bring some things and some people to bring other things.
Right.
That would be a massive improvement over Doolin, you're done, now you and Max are together. Because that was basically what it was. It was Doolin, you're done, join Max. If it was you two lose this, and this, but now you combine the rest that you have, combining to me would be a lot better than someone being 4th and being the less god.
Yeah.
I know.
Dad.
No, that's Doolin.
Don't-
Do you have any thoughts on the merge? You didn't merge, but
I didn't.
She was too good.
Oh yeah, but the reason that because I kind of had a choice if I was going to merge or not when
True.
I chose to let the last person die.
because she played the miracle card, which is points for deaths,
Yeah.
and she was also playing Isis, who didn't have to die unless she wanted to. So she made the call to let her players die to end up not merging.
The reason I did that was because I didn't want to have to bring somebody else down because I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure.
But I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, I really like the concept, and
Yeah.
I think that they did okay. But like I said, I think cutting people in half and pushing them together instead of totally Xing you out would have made it feel way better.
And again, I think that, for us it worked, but if you get to, let's say a group of people come together and they don't know each other very well,
Mhm.
and it's like, hey, we're going to play Ankh together, and you all of a sudden have to work with a person you've been competing against the whole time that weren't you're friends with.
Sure.
That third player might think, oh, well, I'm clearly better than you are.
Right.
Because you're in 4th.
Yeah.
Why in the world would I listen to you?
Sure.
I'm gonna make the decisions. You just, it's kind of like that. How you're in the car and you give the little kid a fake steering wheel, and
Or a fake controller
they
playing
think
PS2
that they're
or
also
whatever.
playing the game.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it feels, kind of.
And I could see that. Yeah, we definitely leaned into actually trying to work together.
And I appreciate that because you actually were like, Josh, what do you think about this? But you didn't have to do that at all. You
I feel
could've
like
just gone
the
and done-
intention is there.
Yeah,
That's how it should be played, regardless if that's how it's going.
Yeah.
to
I
be
think
played.
that's what he wanted. Right? He wanted do it cooperatively. You guys are one. You're a team now, and it's not just like he has all those decisions or anything like that. Like you have to work cooperatively, and that makes it a different game. But if you're working together, like it'd be hard at conventions, right? Because if you're meeting people, that would be tough.
But regardless, we all liked Ankh.
Yeah.
And we're going to spin this right over into our rankings and full comparison discussions here in just a moment. I'm going to let the dogs in so they stop barking. Okay, so we spent today playing Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh. You didn't play Rising Sun, but you played Blood Rage and Ankh. We have thoughts. We're gonna rank them and talk about them and see if we can come to an agreement or why we think one's better than the other. How do we want to begin this? Do we want to jump straight into a ranking and then find out why?
We want to do like one person, their rankings, they discuss.
Yeah.
Next person, they rank.
Yeah, and I think there will be discussion throughout, but yes, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Kyle,
What's up?
Guess go first.
guess go
You get to
first.
you get to go
All right.
first, man.
All right. Well, my number one, which I already spoiled earlier, is Blood Rage, and still is with a bullet. One of my favorite games. It may have moved up in my top 5, just from
After playing with us.
Yeah, after playing with fun people for once.
Honestly, they've all probably moved up.
Yeah, definitely. But Blood Rage is,
You like watching me get filled with rage from the
that
game.
was fun. That put me in tears. So, I just think Blood Rage is just easier to understand what's going on, and it does a lot of mechanics I love. And it's pretty quick.
Which is funny. It may have taken the longest of us 4.
Oh yeah,
today.
maybe it was. Was it?
It might have been the longest
Is it
game.
longer than Ankh?
I think so.
I don't know.
Rising Sun was the shortest of the 3. We only played that at 3 players.
That's
Regardless.
So,
fair.
number
Once you know them, it's probably the shortest of the 3, maybe.
yeah, probably.
Okay.
And it's easiest to teach, I think. But number 2, and Doolin nailed it. It's Ankh.
Yeah. Off camera, I guess. What his
Ah.
second was.
I was about to say, what are you talking about? I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
Coming into today, I would have thought it was easy. It was going to be Blood Rage, Rising Sun, Ankh. And I really like Ankh, obviously. And I liked it before today. I was a little bit worried about the merge, but it didn't bother me too much.
Probably because you didn't merge.
I
And you won.
But you did merge though.
I have merged
We-
before,
yeah.
and it did not bother me. We were much farther behind than you guys were, so it was like impossible for us to come back. But at that point, the game's almost over anyway. It just didn't bug me. But I don't know. Ankh is just. I think I'm starting to pick up on the strategy better on that more than even Rising Sun, which I played more of. And I don't know. It's just Ankh right now over Rising Sun.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
man.
don't know. I don't know my rankings,
You
man.
Do you
thought
at
about
least
that
know-
before you thought of
Do you
the
know
other
what your
thing?
favorite is, or do you know third?
I genuinely don't even know.
Do you want to wait? You want to keep thinking? And we'll
Yeah,
go
if
back
you don't
to
mind, sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Danielle? Yours
Yeah,
is just
I only have
between
2.
Blood Rage and Ankh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Blood Rage over Ankh.
Okay.
I figured so.
Yeah.
Good
Drop
catch.
it.
No, you got it.
Okay. I like the way that this one looked more, but I like the theme of this one more.
See, I'll talk about it later.
I find ancient Egypt very fascinating, but I
Mhm.
like Vikings and stuff
Yeah.
more.
I get it.
So I like the theme more, and even though I feel like this one was more like complex, like there was more stuff going on where we talked about this one was a little bit more simple, I feel like I understood more about like how to do better. in
Totally
Blood
agree.
Rage.
I 100%
Yeah.
agree. I still think Ankh is the technically easier game,
Mhm.
but just from what to do and why you're doing it and how to win, Blood Rage makes more sense to me.
It's like the actions were easier here, but the end game was easier.
Yes,
there,
I think so.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Blood Rage, number 1 for 2 people so far.
All right.
And Ankh number 2 for, well, that didn't really have any competition for you, but
Is it my
Yeah,
turn?
there's no
I
choice.
guess I'm still not ready, but like I don't think I'm ever going to be ready. So if you want me to go,
Go
I
ahead.
can.
Go ahead. I'm wondering if you'll like help me articulate some of my thoughts.
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
what I was hoping you would do. To me. I genuinely don't know. I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed all of these games. I want to own them. I already own Rising Sun and Blood Rage, and I'm going to try and get Ankh, especially because I've heard it's good at 2.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's what
Blood
I'm
Rage
too.
is not, and Rising Sun probably not either. I feel like Ankh is maybe the one of these
And I can
3.
see that you cut out the merge, and it's just like a tactical
Yeah,
game.
there's
of
no
area
merge at
control.
all.
It's
in
like a
two-player
skirmish game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think even though I did so poorly, I did probably have the most fun in Blood Rage. I did really badly. But and I thought I was doing okay. But just the card drafting and seeing the tension in between, I want this card, but I don't want Kyle to have this card. And every single card is something that you look at and you're like, wow, I can do a lot with this. Like I can make this card work really well for me. But that's like the whole stack of cards you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're always going to be able to do something cool with Blood Rage. Like no matter what card you have, no matter what situation you're in, there's going to be something you can do that's really fun. And I think thematic for me, I like Vikings. It might be the worst for me thematically.
Really?
Maybe.
I think Rising Sun might be the worst thematically.
I think probably Ankh is the best for me thematically.
It's really cool.
I love ancient Egypt and I love the gods and stuff like that. And there are gods in here too.
Oh.
But like, they're an expansion. So that's one thing.
There's kind of gods in Rising
But
Sun. I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely. I think that to me, thematically, it might be Ankh, Rising Sun, Blood Rage. I don't know. I still, let me clarify. Thematically,
Ankh 1, Rising Sun 2, Blood Rage 3?
Thematically.
Thematically. I was
Thematically
gonna say, I was like, that's a big change from what you were saying.
But I think that, let me clarify in that I still really like Blood Rage's theme as well.
But mechanically, it goes with the theme and Blood Rage more. Like
Yes,
Ragnarok,
I'll agree.
And
Yeah.
you're dying an honorable
No,
death. and
the
that
theme
makes it
of Blood Rage connected to the mechanics works better than either other game.
Yeah.
Strictly from an art and, I like Ankh better, but yeah, connected to mechanics, Blood Rage wins. I think it's got to be Blood Rage number 1, and then I'm really having a tough time deciding between Ankh and Rising Sun. I think from a first place standpoint, I think Rising Sun is my number 2.
So Blood Rage, Rising Sun, Ankh.
I think so.
I did not expect that. You were jazzed about Rising Sun when you were playing it, though.
I love negotiation, which we didn't even dive into that much.
A little bit.
I love bidding, which still happens in Ankh,
Love bidding.
which I'm cool with. I just enjoyed the, and maybe a lot of it probably came from the Lotus, because I was able to pick up the stack of 4 tiles and basically decide what I wanted to do with them, which gave me more decisions to think about, and also the extra decision space of what can I block my opponent off of by having next. I really like that. It's tough. This could literally change tomorrow, and they could all 3 swap, especially these 2. I feel like Blood Rage is probably squarely in my number 1 for now, but it's like, if I was giving these number rankings, I'm thinking like 9.2, 9, 8.9. Like, I mean, I really liked them all. I really did enjoy them all a lot. They're all made it into my top 50 after having played these 2 only once. Easily. It's so close to judge them, but from just now, tonight, Blood Rage, Rising Sun, Ankh.
Okay.
I'll probably, by the end you finish talking, I'll probably swap Ankh and Blood Rage. Or Ankh and Rising Sun, but we'll see.
Okay. So, I want to start with my number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3. And this was tough because, again, enjoyed all of them. Kyle, thank you for teaching us.
Blood Rage did make his top 50.
Did make my top 50. Crazy, right? What?
Unless these 2 pushed them out.
Yeah.
It's 52 now.
Yeah, that's true. We should.
They're all extremely close, which means I have to be kind of critical of the things I definitely didn't like and the things that I really, really liked. And one of the things that I think makes this game number 3 is the merge, and I'm just not a huge fan of that at all. I think that for us it works because I actually like co-op games and I like playing co-op games with you, but I think that the last place person loses a little too much, and I think that for a lot of groups that just won't work. It'll make that person feel like they were eliminated and they're left out of that exciting end game. If that makes sense.
I will say that I also enjoy the fear of it though too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know it's coming. You know exactly when the merge is happening.
Yeah.
If you're in last place, or even if you're in second to last place, it's because you didn't play as good of an early game as the other people. It's not an act of God that randomly occurs and you get neutered from all that you've created.
It is an act of a god.
I mean, okay, fair. But it is something that you can predict and plan for, and if you end up in that situation, it's because you didn't do as well as the other people.
Yeah.
Which to me is scary, and I don't love it, but I don't even consider it a negative. I think it's just a difference of game, and I'm fine with them being different like that. I like it.
Your rankings are your rankings. Do you give it any points for being something brand new to board gaming?
Oh, for sure. I think the thing that made me want to give it a higher ranking than one of these two was because these two I can think of games that are similar to it. This one I can't think of anything. I legitimately think it's completely unique in the way that you play. The skirmish aspect of it is not like any other skirmish game at all that I can think of. It's essentially trying to set up these temples and like I don't know, you're playing like a god would if a god was trying to win over followers and do its best to compete against other gods. Like I think that it's the way he created it is extremely unique, and so that absolutely. I think that another thing that beyond just the merge that I wasn't a huge fan of was that I wished that there was more variable player powers inside of the game.
Because we all had the same tableau.
I think it misses something there, right? Like I feel like, and we'll get to that, but I think that something that these two have over it is more variety.
Yeah. I enjoyed though. I thought all of our player powers were significantly. It was only one. There was only one thing that made you different from someone else without using the god powers.
And all of the gods are so unique in this game.
I really like
the way they look.
Yeah, and I mean, mine being able to like get power from the dead, yours being able to walk through water and stuff like that, and being able to place down water pieces on the map. You had like tons of money. You couldn't die if you were next to someone. But maybe there should have been more also on top of it.
I definitely think that if those tableaus were just a little bit different, it would maybe rank a little higher for me. So that is my first one. My second place one.
But
my third place one. Sorry. My second place one just beat my top 50. It is Blood Rage. I love the Viking theme. I love the drafting, the card drafting. I love the area control, which is in all three. But I think that it does it maybe the best out of all three. There's not much else I can say other than that I was really surprised that I actually ended up enjoying it.
Way better with Kyle.
Especially after Max's jerk move.
I wasn't even that mean.
It's very mean.
Listen, the fact that he came in last makes me feel a little bit better because what that tells me is that Max didn't really know what he was doing, and so he just did things, and it really hurt me, and that was it. Like he didn't do it specifically to target. Yeah. It was just let's do things, and Julian just happened to be the target of all.
It was a retcon of a retcon.
Yeah. That
I actually wanted to retcon it, but I was like, nah, I can't retcon again. I've done it too much.
But great game. I think I did the math, and I think I rank it just below Babylonia, which is like number 36.
Ooh,
so like 37-ish for me. And then the last one that we haven't talked about is Rising Sun. The thing that sets this apart for me is one, the art. Two, I honestly think that the pieces are just way better. Like beyond the minis, the pieces are way better in that game. Like I love the thick choices when you pick up the 4 like tablets essentially, and you choose between those. I really liked the difference between these two. For me, was instead of drafting the cards at the beginning that you're going to be getting, it's all about choosing to buy them, and everybody sees every card that's available, so it's not going to be a surprise when something pops up, which is cool to me. And then I'm trying to think of like the bidding is great, which Ankh has too, but again,
a little more in Rising Sun.
Definitely.
Something I haven't gotten to do yet is put Tammany Hall in my top 20. It is there if we had done the video today. And I think Rising Sun is a reason to get rid of Tammany Hall. Like I legitimately, I think it's better. I legitimately do. I think that
Granger.
I think that the theme, and I think that everything about it is just better to me than Tammany Hall. And that was in my top 20, so it's going to take its spot. Probably.
Wow.
So yeah.
Rising Sun into the top 20.
I think so.
Blood Rage mid-30s. On maybe top 60, 75.
Yeah. It'll be.
I think they're all 3 top 50 for me.
Yeah.
Like
these two well ahead and then this one is good.
I'll be interested to rank my games again, not these necessarily, rank them again, because I sincerely think these are all three shoot up like top 50 instantly. And it's interesting that you say you think the pieces and Rising Sun are bad. I don't know how anything can be Ankh as far as pieces go.
Well, those
That's
gods
fair.
are-
Those plastic pieces.
You've got
are cool.
so many plastic pieces. The
I
currency
feel like you're
for
talking
people.
yourself to rank this one higher.
I really like it. No, I just really like it.
yeah.
It's my third favorite, but I really like all three of these. Like this is a great
Oh.
day of games.
Number one thing about this one that I completely forgot to talk about, the variable player powers. The fact that they're so different, and we didn't even play with, like, how many of them?
I only have the base game, so there are 2 that we didn't see.
So we didn't say C2,
Yeah.
but, like, even then, like, they were all so different, and I am excited to try to play as the 2 characters I missed out on.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
That's our wrap up. Again, Blood Rage, Ankh, Rising Sun.
Yep.
Blood Rage, Rising Sun, Ankh for now. Blood Rage, Ankh. And
Rising Sun,
Blood
Blood
Rage,
Rage.
Ankh.
Yeah.
So that's our rankings. I enjoyed them regardless, nonetheless.
Great day.
Yeah,
Great day.
It was
It's been a
super fun.
Good day
Thank
for
you,
games.
Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate
This
it.
is great.
If you want to be like Kyle, join our Discord. Link in the description
Don't be
below.
like me.
You can also sign up for our Patreon if you feel like you want to support what we do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we play with and invite onto the channel every single Discord member.
Yep.
Yeah.
All 218 of you. We
Yeah.
already sent emails out. You just may not have. Check your spam.
It's in the mail.
Live within 3 hours.
That's true too. That's helpful. And own games that we don't.
Yeah.
And just be a nice guy.
Yeah.
We're just talking up now, Kyle. You feel gassed up? Feel ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right.
You better be gassed up. You got a
You
long
gotta
drive.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.